So glad you could be with us again. I am with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a food and wine sommelier of the year. The group includes Rustico in Alexandria. That's where we are today. There's a sister Rustico in Ballston. This is a special place for us. Greg, it is always good to see you.
You too. Yeah.
Quickly, before we taste this week's beer, this is where I met Greg.
That's right.
We're back in a corner because we don't want to interrupt the paying customers. A very cool bar. I'll show a picture here. Very relaxing there. And also, here is the dining area. And to the left there, you can see a little mini bar, 4 seats. That is where some of us came to eat one night for beer pairing in the first night that we met.
That's right. And that was like probably back in 2007.
Yeah,
quite a crazy. While ago. But you know, Rustico opened here in 2006, and this was the first place that we had specifically for beer in the company. And really, it was one of the first big beer places in the area. And it was when I joined the group in 2006, was here at Rustico. So it's a very special place for us. And like you said, this is where we really started on experimenting with beer and food pairings that would lead to Birch and Barley in Washington, D.C. So a lot of that restaurant is based on a lot of the work that we did here.
And I have some memories or lack of memories about some fun beer events here, like the Hop Slam Cask Night.
Yeah,
that was
back in the day.
That's
something.
Crazy. So very cool place. If you haven't been here, I'd suggest it.
Yeah. So it's I mean, and it's still a very amazing beer location.
Yes.
You know, we've branched out with Blue Jacket and Birch and Barley and Church Key, the Sovereign, Owens Ordinary, a second Rustico, but through it all, Rustico here in Alexandria has remained incredible. So we're still pouring some amazing beers from all over the place, including this one, which is called The Substance, and it's from Bissell Brothers in Portland, Maine.
They have anything to do with the vacuum cleaning company?
No, not this. But they, you know, Bissell. They make phenomenal beer.
Tasty.
Is a brewery that we have long admired down here in the DC area. We've been lucky enough to work with them on a few events in DC at Church Key. And recently, they've started to send out a little bit of draft beer. So you're going to be able to see Bissell Brothers around at places like Rustico in Northern Virginia, but also in DC. They started, well, I guess the brothers started really dreaming this up back in the 2010 or so. Noah is the brewer. He started home brewing then. And Pete is more like the marketing design. He used to be a photographer, still is, in the Portland area. They're from Portland, Maine. And together they formed this company. And at first it was very, very small. They actually had their initial brewery in 2013 was in the space that was once occupied by Maine Beer Company, which we love very much in Portland, right across the street from Allagash Brewing Company in this industrial park. And Bissell, right from the start, really started making headwaves. People love their beer, especially their hazy, hoppy stuff. So much so that by 2016, they opened a bigger production facility and tap room in Thompson Point, also in Portland. So this is like, when you go to Portland, this is, you know, a brewery that is on the top of pretty much everybody's list, and for good reason.
And then you can go to Allagash and Maine Beer Company.
Right outside, yeah. And Oxbow has a tasting room and blending facility there too. So yeah, Portland's incredible and a really amazing place.
So what is this?
This is a hazy IPA that is brewed with Falconer's Flight, which is a hop blend, as well as Centennial, primarily, and 6.6% straight haze. What's cool about it is that it's juicy. Obviously, it has some sweetness on the palate, but it finishes dry with some hop bitterness. It's kind of a little bit of a throwback. It's not just straight ahead sweet, juicy fruit. There's a little bit of an herbal, grassy note too from the hops. Centennial bringing a lot of pine and orange peel here. And the Falconer's Flight blend we've talked about before is a really cool amalgam of like Citra, Simcoe for grapefruit and pine, and a number of other hops.
I like it. What would you pair it with?
This is a beer that, you know, talk about how in the old days IPAs were too bitter for most. Well, now that that's been tempered, I really love this with some meaty but not too intense fish like halibut or black cod. rockfish, striped bass, which is a local fish for us here, but it's also great with a roast chicken or grilled shrimp. It's summer coming up right now. We've got amazing produce out there, and it's grilling season. So like thinking of anything green, asparagus, peas, arugula, broccolini, you know, anything like that, but especially once it's grilled, it's going to be amazing with this.
All right, excellent. And very nice to be here at Rustico. Greg, thank you as always.
Thanks.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another beer of the week.